I see the honourable member for Grande Prairie standing.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is my pleasure to rise in this assembly today as the member for Grande Prairie. It was an honor to attend the reading of the speech from the throne on May 22nd by Her Honor, the Lieutenant Governor. I would like to extend my congratulations to you, Deputy Chair of Committees, to the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker and Chair of Committees on being elected by your peers to preside over this, the 30th Legislature of Alberta. Mr. Speaker, as a new MLA, I have found these last few weeks to be both exciting and challenging, and I have greatly appreciated all of the Legislative Assembly Office staff for being so patient, professional, and helpful in my orientation to this new role. I would also like to congratulate the new clerk on her appointment as the 9th Clerk of the Legislative Assembly of Alberta. It is a great honor for me to stand here today and represent the constituents of Grande Prairie, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank them sincerely for trusting me with this role. In my many months of knocking on the doors of my constituents, I was privileged to hear their concerns. I heard over and over again the need for jobs, the concern over Alberta's future, about healthcare wait times, pipelines and the lack thereof, increasing costs of living, and the worry about our province's economic uncertainty. I was humbled to hear stories from people at their doors and often surprised by the willingness of people to share from the heart in deeply personal ways. Stories of the recent death of a loved one, the challenges of an abusive relationship, concern about completing a trade certification, concern about having a job in the future, the suicide of a child just the night prior, the concern over rising housing costs and the defeat experienced within the cycle of addiction, to name a few of the more emotional disclosures I witnessed. I was humbled to be entrusted with these deeply personal and often painful stories, and it shifted my perspective on the task of door knocking from a campaign job to an honor and a privilege. I quickly realized that my role was to listen more and talk less. I was happy to do so. I found that people were incredibly moved to know that I was doing just that. There are two local issues that were voiced repeatedly in Grande Prairie. The first is the Grande Prairie Regional Hospital build, which has been fraught with delays and cost overruns for years. The second is the twinning of Highway 40. Highway 40 is a major route of transportation and development for our energy sector. These two projects are important not only to my constituency, but also to the province, as they provide opportunity for economic development, expansion of service to Albertans, improved safety on our highways, restoration of confidence in Alberta's economy, and critical learning as we endeavor to reduce regulatory burden and red tape by at least 1/3 over the next 4 years. We have a responsibility to Albertans to manage the finances prudently while continuing to make critical investment decisions to renew the Alberta advantage and to restore our province to economic stability once again. I am confident in this government to lead well, and I would like to congratulate the members of Executive Council on the critical work you have commenced in the last few weeks. I am excited to work in support of Premier Kenney and Cabinet to truly make life better for all Albertans. Oh, sorry about that. The Premier. As I stand here today, I want to thank my family, without whom this privilege of representing Grande Prairie would not have been gained. My husband Serge and our 3 children, Nicholas, Alexander, and Isabel, have been behind my efforts from the beginning, and I am so grateful to them for their patience, love, and support throughout this process. I am tremendously blessed and humbled to have had so many wonderful people who work tirelessly to assist me in becoming their voice in the Alberta Legislature, and I would like to express my sincere gratitude to each one who helped me get here. I stand before you today as the first woman to represent Grande Prairie in the Legislative Assembly in our province's history, and I am humbled by this distinction. Grande Prairie is known as the Swan City because of the beautiful trumpeter swans that migrate and nest there. It is a young and vibrant city with a diversified economy which provides many opportunities for investment and employment. The city has established industry in forestry, oil and gas, agriculture, construction, and all of the service industry supports for these key pillars of our economy. As a young entrepreneur and job creator, I came to Grande Prairie in 1997, and I count myself fortunate to have made the city my home. I have never looked back. What I experienced was, I believe, representative of Alberta, a city at work with a can-do spirit and a welcoming environment that celebrated my family's investment and rewarded our hard work. Until 2015, I had never aspired to hold public office, but I became deeply concerned about our province and the future opportunities for Albertans if we didn't address the slumping economy, ballooning debt, and regulatory burden that further hampered economic growth. My hope for our province is to renew Alberta as the economic engine for Canada and a land of opportunity for our future generations. I believe we have a responsibility to steward our province's resources and to leave this land in a better position than when we found it. I want the opportunities that I enjoyed as a young entrepreneur to be available for future generations of Albertans, including my own children. Mr. Speaker, I am proud to stand in this Assembly today as a member of this government caucus with the confidence that this dedicated team, under the leadership of our Premier, will renew the Alberta Advantage and work tirelessly on behalf of all Albertans to restore the province to a land of opportunity for our future. I am committed to working with my colleagues to further this vision and support Alberta's energy sector and the building of new pipelines. I believe that Albertans are some of the hardest working, most innovative and creative people in the world, and when we unleash our collective potential is when we will return to long-term prosperity. The city of Grande Prairie was one of Canada's fastest growing cities between 2001 and 2006. The city population is currently projected to double over the next 20 years. When I moved there in 1997, there were approximately 25,000, and today we have almost 75,000, so the city continues to grow rapidly. This growth creates tremendous opportunity for the city. One exciting development at present is the transition of the Grande Prairie Regional College to become a university. I am very supportive of this change and support increased local post-secondary opportunities from university programs to trades and technical training, to allow our city's students to pursue a variety of higher education options at home. With rapid growth also comes challenge. Sadly, Grande Prairie was named Canada's most dangerous city in both 2015 and 2016. While I am grateful for the strides made since 2016, I am concerned about this phenomenon and am committed to work to further improve and to hopefully make Grande Prairie one of Canada's safest cities in the future. To quote a hero of mine, Anne Frank, "How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world." It is because of my concern over this issue, shared by my constituents and fueled by the inspiration of Ms. Frank, that I have agreed to serve as Vice Chair on a rural committee under the leadership of the Honourable Minister of Justice as the Chair and in cooperation with the member for Highwood as the Co-Vice Chair. Grande Prairie leads Alberta in entrepreneurial upstarts per capita and contributes a great deal to Alberta's overall wealth. I believe that entrepreneurs are the economic engine of our local economy, and am very proud of my city's leadership position in entrepreneurialism. The city is a tremendous community that offers a high quality of life and many opportunities for citizens to get involved. One characteristic that has always stood out to me in Grande Prairie is the generosity of the people there. I have watched with a great sense of pride repeatedly as our community has rallied behind important causes such as Big Hearts for Big Kids. This initiative, under the vision and leadership of Grande Prairie's very own Tennille Towns, has raised over $1.5 million over the last 9 years in support of Sunrise House, which is the northernmost youth emergency shelter in the province. I am so proud to call Tennille a friend and to have supported her vision for the care and support of vulnerable youth in the city of Grande Prairie. I would also like to congratulate this daughter of our city in her dedication and tireless work as a singer-songwriter and on her recent accomplishments internationally as an artist in being named On the Verge by iHeartCountry and for being nominated by CMT for the Breakthrough Video of the Year for her song Somebody's Daughter, which, true to Tennille's passion, illuminates the reality that everyone has a story, and even the person on the corner holding a cardboard sign is in fact somebody's daughter. The city of Grande Prairie is fortunate also to be home to the largest all-boys choir in North America. Under the exceptional instruction of conductor Jeannie Van Winsberg-Purnell, the choir has been awarded first place multiple times provincially and twice nationally. Conductor and founder Miss Purnell has a vision to provide exceptional choral training for boys and young men while also teaching them to live with 3 core values: camaraderie, mentorship, and service. Grande Prairie has been incredibly fortunate over the last 18 years to watch the Grande Prairie Boys Choir form, grow, and excel to the national and international level. I would like to thank Ms. Purnell and her family for their dedication to our community and this significant contribution to the arts and the development of fine young citizens in the city of Grande Prairie. At this time, I would like to thank those who have gone before me from my area as representatives in this House. Even though my riding is new, my predecessors represented it well. Most recently, Mr. Wayne Drysdale, who served from 2008 to 2019, and the Honourable Member for Central Peace Notley, who serves in this present caucus also. Their contributions and the contributions of those members before them have had a tremendous influence on the quality of life in the region, and I hope to continue building on their legacy. I will take a moment now to mention a new friend and mentor, Mr. Marvin Moore from DeBolt, Alberta. DeBolt, Alberta is just 45 minutes from my door. Mr. Moore was first elected under Premier Lougheed, and he served in this assembly from 1971 to 1989. Mr. Moore then returned years later to support Ralph Klein in his bid for the party leadership and continued to serve as an advisor and campaign manager for 4 provincial campaigns for Premier Klein. Mr. Moore, along with his wife Fran, has served the people of Alberta faithfully, and I would like to recognize them in this assembly for their tremendous contribution to our province and thank them for the time they have invested in the greater good of Alberta and in me personally as a newly elected member. I can't express my gratitude adequately for the kindness and support they have shown me these last months. I suspect I may be the member who has written the most drafts of my maiden speech, and I have certainly thought and overthought about what to include. I believe this task has deepened my sense of purpose and responsibility to serve as a member in this House and underscored the honor of being included in such a select and distinguished group of so few Albertans to join this assembly. When I first decided, with much contemplation and trepidation, to take the leap into this unfamiliar world of politics, I really had no idea the extent to which my life would change and my grit and determination would be challenged. My utopian ideals of democracy were challenged repeatedly, and I took great comfort in the words of Winston Churchill. Indeed, it has been said that democracy is the worst form of government, except for all those other forms that have been tried from time to time. I will close with this, in the words of Theodore Roosevelt from 1910. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. I want to congratulate all members of this House for daring greatly to step forward and put themselves in this arena. I wish each one success in their role and hope that the 30th legislature will be historic in improving life for all Albertans. I understand the tradition of my predecessors was to be brief, and it seems I have continued in that tradition. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.